Hi guys, welcome back to another L&M Sports video. Today we're going to be reacting to our fans' big calls for the 2024 AFL season.
These big calls have been sent in from fans on social media such as Snapchat and Instagram, so make sure you're following us on those platforms so you can be part of future videos. Jacob C sent in Essendon top 8. I could definitely see this happening. I didn't rate them as highly in my predictions, but they're definitely a chance and I could see it happening.
I had them in my top 8, but I still don't see them winning a final, but I think they'll make it still. So I rate that one alright.
Cohen S sent in North in the top 10. This one's a bit out there. I do think they'll be around the bottom of the ladder for another couple of years and then possibly reach up the ladder a little bit. So it's an out there call, but I couldn't see why it couldn't happen.
I don't think it'll happen this year, because they're still pretty young side and still gelling. But yeah, definitely in the next few years they'll be back up there again.
We'll see sent in a couple of out there ones. Number one, there'll be another Andrew Gaff incident, but this time it'll be Braden Maynard punching Josh Honey. I don't really have words for this one. It's different. I hope an incident like that doesn't happen. I don't know whether or not Josh Honey will be playing for this to happen, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Josh Honey probably won't even be in the side for that to happen, but who knows, it could happen, but I doubt it will.
Number 2, another player will get their Guernsey ripped off. This time it'll be Isaac Quainer, but instead of getting a lot of followers, he'll only gain about 8,000. I have seen that Nike jumpers do rip a bit like the New Balance jumpers, and Collingwood did have a couple of problems with ripped jumpers, so it could possibly happen. Whether or not a Quainer, that's another big call, and the follower count, I could see him gaining a few more than 8,000, but yeah, definitely some out there ones.
Yeah, it'll happen probably, but I don't know about the following thing just in general. I think that was just a one-off, and old mate from Brisbane didn't really have many followers to start with, so I don't know. But I reckon Quainer would get more, better looking fella.
The last one by Will. Shane McAdam is going to get knocked out by Toby Green, which will start a push and shove, and in doing so he'll get trampled on by Tex, break his arm and be out for 16 weeks. These 3 comments are truly out there. I mean, the odds of them happening are probably not high, but I could see Toby Green starting an incident. Whether or not Taylor Walker's going to stand on his teammate's arm and break it, we'll have to wait and see, but let's just hope for the sake of Shane McAdam it doesn't happen, because that would be pretty unlucky.
Yeah, it won't happen. They're all a bit out there. I think he's just doing it for a piss take. Lily C says Cat's going to win. I don't know what they're going to win, but they must be winning something.
If she means the premiership, I don't know about that this year, but hopefully they win a game.
Anthony says Carlton for the flag. That I could see happening, and hopefully it does happen.
Good call by Anthony. It could possibly happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. I have Carlton as my flag winners, so hopefully my prediction's right, and hopefully so is Anthony's.
Anonymous says Flag Lions. And also Orange Team top 4. Orange Team top 4 I can see happening, but Lions winning the grand final I don't see happening.
Yeah, GWS up there, or like Orange Team, could possibly happen. I have them 5th, but could definitely see them as a top 4 side. And Brisbane I could see making a prelim. I don't know if they'll be a grand final contender this year.
Riley C says Fremantle make top 8 and Essendon win a final. Fremantle, they have a decent young team, but I don't think they'll still make it this year. I think they're having a bit of a hard time gelling. Essendon I have making the finals, but I don't think they'll win a final still. I think the drought will continue.
From a Freo perspective, I could see it happening, possibly. It'd take the team to gel well and work as a team this year, like more than possible with the talent on their list. I don't see them making the top 8, but it's a possibility. And Essendon winning a final, for Essendon fans' sake, they probably want it to happen, but it would be quite humorous if it didn't continue and the drought continued for another year and maybe longer.
Blake M says Pies go back to back and Toby Green wins Brownlow. Pies won't go back to back because Carlton are winning it. And Toby Green, he should poll well, but I still don't think he's material enough to win the Brownlow.
Pies back to back out there. Maybe it happens if they're not too hungover from the win last year. And Toby Green winning the Brownlow, he's the type of player that could be up there, a lot like a Dustin Martin. I don't believe he'll win it this year though. He might poll in the top 10 though.
Bo S has Richmond in the bottom 2. That I could see happening. I think I had them bottom 4, but it's still all around the same area. Yeah, I don't think they'll go too well this year, but who knows.
In my predictions video, I have Richmond finishing second last and 17th. So yeah, definitely a possibility, and I do agree with you there though. Rain has Gold Coast making top 6 and Cats to be in the bottom 8. Could definitely see these happening. I have Gold Coast in my top 8. Whether or not they use their talent to their advantage and win games this year, yeah, I could see happening, but they've got to put their best foot forward and try their best. And Cats in the bottom 8 could definitely see happening. I've got them there. I think it's going to take a couple of years, but they'll definitely be up there and bounce back.
I'm pretty sure I have Gold Coast and Geelong both in the bottom 8. Gold Coast maybe just above it, but I don't see Gold Coast making finals still, so that one I don't agree with, but Geelong bottom 8, definitely agree with that one.
Now from our last predictions video, we've been sent in a fan prediction from 18th to 1st, so we're going to react to it. It's Fidget1764 Freo Fanman, and we'll start with his predictions, and me and Memphis will go one by one, reacting to each one. He says, 18th, Fremantle. Coming from a loyal supporter of this club, we urgently need to sack Justin Longmuir. I don't think he's the cause of all our star players leaving over the past few years, but the coaching probably has something to do with it. We've got holes in our forward and backline as well, now that Schultz left and Pearce is losing form. Possibly, Freo do still have a couple of star players and have calibre to be a decent team, but if they don't work well as a team this year, it's definitely more than likely a possibility.
In 17th, he has West Coast Eagles, and he says, I can't imagine them getting worse. Technically, they're the worst team in the comp, but I feel like Harley Reid should somewhat carry the team. They picked up some good, talented players in the off-season. Yeah, I think Harley Reid will be a good pickup for them, but I still think they'll be down the bottom for a little while.
He has Essendon in 16th. He says pre-season was a disaster. The end of 2023 was a disaster. They were lucky to beat North and West Coast and were annihilated by GWS and Collingwood. I just don't know what happened to them. They're shaping to be like 2022 West Coast. Yeah, if Essendon don't put together form and play like they did at the end of last year, it's a possibility, but I can't see him ending that far down the ladder and can see him just missing out on the 8 possibly.
In 15th, he has Richmond, and he says, Richmond, I can't work out exactly who they're building around. Better yet, I don't even know who they should be building around. They've got so many inconsistent players. Yeah, you can tell them they can really build around there at the moment because a lot of their players are a bit older now, but hopefully they can get that young player in there that they can sort of try build around in the next couple of years. But yeah, I think they should probably be down there for the next few years again.
In 14th, he has North Melbourne. He says they have to strike sometime. They got so much up and coming talent. Yeah, I do believe they do. They have a young team and they should be using their talent to their full advantage. And they could possibly finish in a 14th. I think they'll be around that bottom end of the ladder for a couple of years. But are definitely making good choices and can see them calling up the ladder.
13th, he has Melbourne, and he says it can't get any worse off the field for them. It's going to leave too many mental scars, however they still have a top tier list. They should contend for finals, as I think the gap from 8th to 13th will be very tight, but they'll be the unlucky ones.
In 12th, he has Hawthorn. All they need to do is start seasons better and they'll challenge for or even make finals. I definitely agree with this. I just think they'll have to hang around the bottom of the ladder for this year and then they can move on and make it up the ladder as they progress and mature and become a better team.
In 11th, he has Geelong Cats, and he says everyone knows this club's burning question. I'm assuming that's their age issue, but I'm not too sure what the burning question is.
There's Port, 10th. 3 teams have to fall out of the top 8. They're probably one of the weakest in 2023 top 8. I do believe this. I think Port can put on a show this year and finish in the top 8 though. But if they can't put it together, they'll definitely be one of the 3 teams or 4 teams to fall out of the 8 this year.
In 9th place, he has St Kilda and says, did they overperform? Are they heading in the right direction? Were they lucky in some games in 2023? I don't know, they're so hit and miss. That I can agree with. They'll play good one week and then the next they'll be shit.
In 8th, he has Gold Coast. This is their year. Easy fixtures should get enough momentum. I agree with this. I had Gold Coast making my top 8 and have them 8th spot. They just got to put the talent together, work as a team, and with Dimmer, I reckon they could do anything.
7th place, he has Western Bulldogs, and he says they should be making top 4 with the quality of their list. Luke Beveridge has been the problem all along. I don't really agree with the top 4 tier list. They can make finals, but I don't think their list isn't top 4 worthy. And Luke Beveridge, he definitely has to go some point this year at the end of the season. He's been a good coach for a while, but he's just not doing too well anymore. He's playing people out of position, etc.
6, he has Collingwood. Either them or the Lions will have a hangover, particularly because the grand final was just so close. I do agree with his statement, whereas I think it'll be the Lions that have the hangover and Collingwood will have another strong year this year.
In 5th place, he has Carlton, and he says, now that I think about it, they're not as good as some people say. That I disagree with. We definitely have a good side that's worthy of top 4, as we've shown on the back half in it last year.
4th, he has Adelaide. They should have finished at least 7th last year. Came so close in quite a few games against the top teams. I do agree with this. It's just Adelaide have to start winning games a bit better and not rely on close wins or close losses that cost them final spots.
3rd place, he has Brisbane, and he says if they don't win a flag by 2027, they need to rebuild. That I can definitely agree with. They have to win a flag next year or the year after if they're going to win one. Otherwise, I feel like their time's up. But I had them sitting 2nd on the ladder, but 3rd, it's around the same place. So I still think they'll be top 4.
2nd, he has Sydney. I've been harsh on them for a while. I'm living in regret now. I realise how good they really are. I do agree with this. Swans do have a good list and maturing really well and can push and finish really high in finals this year. We'll just have to wait and see.
In 1st place, he has GWS, and he says they've got literally no away ground disadvantages. That I can agree with. Last year they won at a lot of different grounds, and I think this year they'll continue to have that at different grounds. So I can definitely see them finishing up near the top and going deep into finals.
Now that's a wrap for our video. As I mentioned earlier, if you guys would like to participate, send in comments for future videos. Make sure you stay up to date with our stories on our main socials and our personal socials as we put stories up asking questions here and there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment and watch other videos. Thank you for watching.